Okay, today we are discussing the artificing and magic item creation rules for the Magitech Chronicles role-playing game. This is different than other systems because what you're building is a living magic item. It's called an Magus, and an Magus will grow and change as your character goes to Catalyst. So you get magic when you go to a Catalyst, but your Maguses also get power. So if you've got, a Spellblade and also a set of Spell Armor, both of those are going to get power when you go to a Catalyst. And that's really what separates the system from other games that you may have played. As far as crafting those, you are taking 2 or more magical materials and creating a new life form out of them. This can only be done by an artificer, and it's why life is one of the 2 components in enchanting. It's life and air, and the life component of that is what gives this magic item life. Air is what binds it all together. So you could take, let's say, an ingot of feather steel and maybe some fire rubies, and boom, you've now got a living magic staff that you've created as an artificer. And they can create these life forms, and this is something that obviously makes them very valuable. So they are expensive to make. Getting magical materials is not easy. It does cost money, but you're playing adventurers. You're going to have an ability to do that. So artificers are a great addition to a party because they allow you to sort of digest magic items you don't need and then spit out really powerful stuff or, enchantments upon the items you already have. Creating an Magus is a fairly straightforward process. You need to have at least its rating times 1,000 credits of 2 magical materials, 2 or more, depending on the rating. As you create it, if you get extra successes, this is kind of the cool part where the artificer skill comes in, you can give it flourishes. So let's say that we, made ourselves a Spellblade, a falchion, and we ended up getting 2 extra flourishes. Depending on the aspects we are using when we make it, we can choose from these flourishes. So let's say maybe we pick light, it weighs 50% of what it normally would, and then accurate. So it's getting 1 extra accuracy die. So it's lighter and faster than a normal sword of its type would be. And then obviously you could choose lots of different anchors, as you can see here. And that gives you a lot of customization when you are creating magic items. So you'd create an Magus, it would get a couple of flourishes or maybe more depending on how well you roll. And then you start taking it to catalysts and it's getting additional power from that. So your magic items become a very important part of your character, a huge part of your overall power level. And once you have brought it to enough catalysts, it will awaken. It'll actually become an intelligent kind of sidekick that is bonded to your character. You'll have sort of a familiar in the form of these items. And as it's going to these catalysts, you can see it's getting stronger. It's awakening gradually over time. It's getting charisma, reason, will, and intuition. Every time it goes to a god's body and takes a little bit of magic from it until finally becoming fully realized into that final form magic item that is as powerful as it can get. And that's going to be capped based on the number of magical materials that were used in its creation. Common magical materials, just to give you some idea, magical materials are created anywhere a god died, typically. So if you've got, a god and it was killed over a planet, maybe that god's blood rained down on the planet and soaked into the ground. And so the feather steel has some of that god's blood in it, and that's why it's lighter and stronger than normal. Same could go for void steel. Fire rubies tend to grow up around fire catalysts. So if a heart of fire crashed on a planet somewhere or was just floating somewhere in space, you might find that fire rubies just crystallize in space around it and can be mined. Each of these magical materials is linked to sort of a different catalyst. And what you as a GM get to do when you're making a catalyst is decide, what do I think are viable magical materials? And those can be used in the creation of objects. So, perhaps you have super powerful magical drakes and your players manage to kill them. They could maybe use their bones as drake bones to make a drake bone staff or something. You get to be creative as a GM and sort of reward them whenever they kill a creature. You're sort of teaching them to use every reward that they get. And it's kind of a fun process to see what they come up with. So definitely an artificer is a huge, huge bonus to a party. You can see more of the artificing rules on the Magitech Chronicles World Anvil page. If you have questions, please leave those in the comments of the video. I am happy to answer any and all questions about the artificing system. If there's something missing, let us know. We will get it added. And we appreciate you taking the time to watch this video.